Good morning, my dear students. Today we will read second part of our chapter number 13, The Wonderful Tea Kettle. Let's start the reading on page number 82. The next morning, the tinker of the village called in, and the priest told him about his strange visitor, wishing to show him the animal. He cautiously lifted the lid of the cask. After all, the badger might be still alive, in spite of the strong vinegar, pickles, and lo, there was nothing but the shiny brass tea kettle. Fearing that the utensil might play the same prank again, the priest was glad to sell it to the tinker. On his part, the tinker secretly thought the priest had been dreaming, and he gave another kettle in exchange for it, and some cash too. He carried it proudly to his young shop, though he thought it felt unusually heavy. The tinker went to bed as usual that night with his tiny paper shaded lamp just behind his head. About midnight, hearing a strange noise like the flapping up and down of a pot lid, he sat up in bed, rubbed his eyes. There was a baby's tea kettle covered with fur and sprouting out legs. In short, it was turning into a hairy beast. Don't beat me or shut me in a vinegar keg, it said, because I'm really kind hearted and wish you well. What can I do for you? Asked the tinker. Feed me a little rice now and then, and don't put me on the fire as that stupid priest did. Look here. Going over to a corner of the room and taking a fan from the rack, the badger climbed up on the frame of the lamp and began to dance on its one hind leg, waving the fan with its forepaw. It played many other tricks until the man started up, and then the badger turned into a tea kettle again. Next morning, the delighted tinker hired a professional showman to build a little theater and stage. Then he ordered an artist to paint scenery with his car, Mountain Fujiyama in the background and cranes flying through the air. A crimson sun shining through the bamboo, a red moon rising over the waves with golden clouds and tortoises and such like. Then he stretched a tight rope of rice straw across the street. Handbills were stuck up in all the barber shops in town, and wooden tickets branded with Magic Tea Kettle performance admit one were sold. The house was speedily filled, the people coming in parties bringing their teapots full of tea and picnic boxes full of rice and eggs and other refreshments because they came to stay all day. Mothers brought their babies with them. The children enjoyed it most of all. Then the tinker, dressed up in colorful clothes, with a big fan in his hand, came out on the platform. He made a polite bow and set the wonderful tea kettle on the stage. At a wave of his fan, the kettle ran around on four legs, half badger and half kettle, clanking its lid and wagging its tail. How the children shouted! Next, it turned into a badger, swelled out its body, and beat a tune on it like a drum. It danced on the right rope and walked the slack rope, holding a fan or an umbrella in its paw, stood on its head, and finally its flourish of its master's fan became a cold brass tea kettle again. The audience were wild with delight as the fame of the wonderful tea kettle spread. Many people came from great distances to see it perform. Year after year, the tinker exhibited the wonder until he grew immensely rich. Then he retired from the show business and, out of gratitude, took the old kettle to the temple again and deposited it there as a precious relic. The old priest was given a goodly sum of money to do nothing else but take care of it, and all his life it had all the food it wanted. After his death, it turned into an ordinary cattle and has stayed so ever since. If you don't believe it, you can go to the temple someday and see it for yourself. I hope you are understood well. Thank you.